this meeting to order. It is 7 p.m. We have roll call, please.
Chris Brown. Here. Rob Cruz.
Present.
Ian Cranston.
Here.
Nancy Hopper. Present. Katie Jess.
Here.
Bill Crowdy.
Here.
Melissa Smith.
Present. Could you all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have approval of previous minutes of October 2nd, 2023. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown. Aye. Rob Cruz.
Aye.
Amy Cranston.
Aye.
Nancy Hopper. Aye. Katie Jess. Aye. Bill Crowdy.
Aye.
Melissa Smith.
Aye. Next on the agenda, we have a table file to add to the agenda that was previously up. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve. Second.
Is that okay if we stable that now? Table agenda, table file. Okay. Could you change your motion?
I didn't say. I didn't. Move to approve the table file.
The agenda.
The agenda with the table file. Got it. Second.
Secret. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown. Aye. Rob Cruz.
Aye.
Amy Cranston.
Aye.
Nancy Hopper. Aye. Katie Jess. Aye. Bill Crowdy.
Aye.
Melissa Smith.
Aye. Next, we have the opportunity for audience. Alrighty. Reports. We have our Fort Myers High School student representative, Kenya.
Hi everyone. There is a lot of stuff happening in October that I'm really excited to tell you. First thing that we're officially done with the first quarter of school, so made it a quarter of the way there, only 3 quarters left. As far as the high school goes, there's a lot of senior stuff happening. So senior work days are happening every Wednesday in October. COSI is coming in and helping with anything from college applications to resumes to scholarships. So that's been super helpful. They pull kids out for one of their periods throughout the school day. Colorado Free Common App Day is tomorrow through Thursday, so it's a really busy time for seniors this week specifically. And then as far as like big scholarships go, the Daniels Fund scholarship was due yesterday. The first round for the Daniels Fund was due yesterday. The Coca-Cola semifinalists came out last week, and then the Betcher, the due date for the Betcher is November 1st. So those are big things on the senior roster. As far as sports go, soccer had their last home game today. Volleyball's last game is tomorrow in Frederick. Football has a home game on Thursday the 19th, and it will be Military Appreciation Night. Cross country has a meet on Thursday, and gymnastics had their first home meet in 4 to 5 years at the beginning of the month. So that was really, really cool to watch. I haven't been in high school while they've had a home meet, so it was really good to see everyone home. And then as far as like elective and drama departments go, last Wednesday, and it sounded like it went really, really well. Orchestra will be going around to elementary schools and playing music during Halloween, so that's something that is in the works, but definitely we did it last year, and it was super fun, so I'm hoping we do it this year. And I'm super, super excited to announce that the fall play is happening November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at 7 p.m., and it's Alice in Wonderland, and they've been working so hard, so if you can, please get a chance to go support them. Other than that, there will be a school accountability meeting on the 18th. Parent-teacher conferences will be on Monday the 23rd. And then the high school puts on haunted hallways, which is pretty much where all of the clubs decorate a hallway and give out candy to all of the like little kids that come through. And so that will be on October 28th from 4:30 to 6.
Next up, we have board reports. Nancy.
One of the things I wanted to put out, you should have received an email last Wednesday from Cassie on the bylaws updates. Those were presented at Delegate Assembly, and you had a bunch of bullets there that you could kind of preview to see what changes were made, the rationale behind all of those, yada, yada, yada. And then there are some, discussion things set up for a Saturday, one Saturday in the morning and the afternoon, and then a Thursday. So October 28th at 9 o'clock, Saturday the 28th at 5, and then Thursday, November 9th at 5:30. So if you want to zoom in, just kind of hear the discussion about those bylaw changes, that's your opportunity to do so. The bylaws will be voted on at the winter conference in December. In your board packet, I did type up kind of what the results were of the delegate assembly and all the amendments and resolutions that were put in there. I just wanted to bring attention to standing resolutions 7, 8, and 9. There have been no amendments or resolutions brought forth prior to delegate assembly on these 3 standing resolutions. They were brought to the assembly on the floor and added, and so that's the only reason I wanted to bring those to your attention, is that they had not been introduced prior to my being able to share with you. Other than that, that's my report.
Anybody else have a report? Okay, then next up we have our superintendent, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you. First of all, the technology change in the boardroom. As you look around, you see there's no more microphones in front of you. I believe you'll get those back at some point. I'm not 100% sure, but right now you see the microphone right there in the middle. That's what we're using. But they're currently upgrading this entire room with all our. Before it was kind of a hassle to connect to our overhead. You had to have 4 dongles and 8 cords and all kinds of stuff, but now it's all wireless and it's fairly simple to hook up to. We've got new cameras. There's going to be a 3rd one installed up there in the middle somewhere. And then also we had this little board that sits right here. We used to have to push to pull the screens down. We bypassed that completely, and now we just got toggle switches, so it's not connected to the server or anything. So if servers go down, we can still get the screens down. So a lot of work going in here. Really impressed with the work they're doing, and a lot of quality stuff happening. So we're really excited about all that. So any questions on that? So, Deb, if you don't mind, I got an opportunity, as you know, to go to the Dominican Republic. And this is our Colorado group that went. You can see Brett went as well. And we had, I think there were 5 of us. There was actually 6. There was one lady that didn't, she got her flight got delayed. So the first day we were there, this is our first day at lunch. You go to the next one. They actually took us, it was pretty interesting to be in the Dominican Republic on Columbus Day. As you may or may not know, that's where Christopher Columbus originally landed, was in originally called Hispaniola. And we got to sit in the plaza of Christopher Columbus, and it's a blue park there. That is actually the first Catholic church ever built in the Americas, which was kind of cool. We keep going there. The other side of the church. Just some interesting architecture as well. This is at the mouth of the river where they have all their not missions, but the artillery where they would protect the town. Yes, just a lot of different various pictures. Another one of those is right. If you go to the other side, that's the river. So if you don't give you X out of that, that was our first day there. So then our second day, we got to actually go, and we did a service project. There's an organization there that's trying to reclaim the beach, and they do it all through natural means. And so we had to go plant mangrove trees. So that's the lady teaching us how to plant the mangrove trees out on the beach, and it's a very interesting process. But that helps with the ecosystem down there because that's where the fish live, and then they get protection there as they grow up, and then they go back out to the ocean once they grow up. But what it does is it catches all the sand, and it brings the sand in. They're having problems with erosion before all the mangrove trees were gone, and so now they're planting all these. This is a school we went to up close
close to 80. And they actually, one thing you can guarantee, anywhere you go in this world, and it's a sad thing, but you can always find trash no matter where you go. So these people, they use everything they can possibly use. This is a part of a greenhouse where they took 2-liter bottles of water or pop or whatever it may be, and they tied them together to make kind of the solar heat walls for these greenhouses. And next one's just a pretty picture between this classroom and this is the little containers we used to actually, we did another service project, and that was planting evergreen trees in the rainforest. And so those are the little containers we put them in. Those are the actual trees, and there's hundreds of them, hundreds. And planting mangroves, some of them mixed up, and I thought that wall was good. So if you want to go to the next one, oh, well, no, keep going on this one. I got another tree, big tree. So the other service project my group got to do is we went down up over a river in the rainforest, and let me tell you, if you think it's hot in Fort Morgan in the summer, oh Lord, this was really hot down there. But we got in the blistering heat with very little instruction, hand saws, and it was just a really fun experience, and that was the group that I was with. Then they took us where we could go and to one of the waterfalls, and so we actually got to go swim under the waterfall, which was we got to cool off. It was kind of neat. Yeah, that's when we're all done. Our group got done there. That's the actual picture of the thing. So you go to the next one. So then another day we were there, we got to, there's an organization there called Inspired DR, and it's this retired Australian, I think it is. No, he's a French guy. He was, he went to the Dominican Republic, and he noticed that there was a bunch of like Girl Scouts and female kinds of organizations that help young ladies, but they noticed that there weren't any. They noticed that there wasn't any organizations for boys. And in the Dominican Republic, there's a lot of broken homes and a lot of moms that are on their own with their kids. And so this guy saw a need for it, and so he started this Inspired DR where he took these kids the ages between like 11 and 21, and they teach them how to become good partners, good husbands, community leaders, and they just teach them all these different skills, swimming and all this stuff. And so our job that day was, again, you can guarantee there's trash everywhere you go in the world. So our job was to break into a group. We were one of the Colorado 4 of us in the group with the 2 young men right there. One on the left is an aspiring DJ. He speaks fluent English, does a wonderful job. The young man on the right, he's about 12 years old and doesn't speak any English. So we were working together to build, they just told us, you have to build a water rocket. We're not going to give you anything, you just have to go find it, you have to scrounge, you have to get the materials. They would give us tape and scissors, but pretty much everything else was on our own. We had to find the cardboard, we had to find everything. And then the one who made the rocket that flew the furthest won. And so if we can go to the video, this is actually ours. Our young man got to shoot it off. Pretty impressive, I would say. Hated most of the work.
It's sort of like a destination imagination thing.
Yeah. It actually went across into the neighbor's yard and nobody wanted to go get it because we were afraid we were going to have what's the big dog in the baseball movie?
Oh, yeah.
The Beast. We didn't want to face the Beast. But anyway, then that night we got to go down and learn all about Carnival. And in the Dominican Republic, it is the second largest carnival in the world behind Brazil. And it was very interesting why they do it. It's because typically people are shy. And so they believe that if you put this mask on, that you will be less shy, and everybody smiles under that mask, or you don't know what's going on under that mask. So the belief is that you wear these costumes and you go do this dance, and you're supposed to be able to cleanse yourself of all your evils from the previous year. And so you have to do it from the end of February to before Easter. So it has to fall in there somewhere. Because once Easter hits, you can no longer do it. So that's their belief. But the organization we went to, and this is where I got bit by a cat, by the way. Looks, yeah, so I'm okay. But this company actually won the greatest costumes like last year. And it's quite an honor down there, apparently. And they let us dress up in the suits. We actually have video of us dancing around in the suits. That's come out there. But it was just, there were probably about 32 of us on this trip. And it was a very great, wonderful experience. And thank you for allowing me to go. The goal of this is now to maybe get some of our students to go on some of these education first tours in a different, typically a third world part of the country. Some of them go to Europe, but they're most typically in the Dominican Republic, Peru, South and Central America. Just a wonderful experience. So, yeah, it was fun. So that's my report. That's the question. That was not me. That was I was then getting bit by a cat. I stepped on it.
Step on.
Well, they watched it. They watched. It's been over a week.
It's not you. We're gonna,
The cat?
you and I are gonna talk.
Well, I was more worried about the cat what he got from me.
Oh, there you go.
Rob, we're chat. Okay, do we have a report since Dr. Preston? Moving along to the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Good evening. I don't have a whole lot, personal action report to in front of you guys, if you have any questions. One thing I'd just like to point out that we're starting to build up our sub group a little bit, which is nice. We've added a couple certified subs for classrooms, as well as some in our code area. So that's a needed area for us that we're starting to get to there. Stipend list is also in front of you tonight. If there's any questions, I can sure answer those. But mostly we'll look for that middle school and high school areas. Not many changes on our job postings. We have one certified posting for classified, 6 coaching. So we're still very good overall with our hiring. HSA, HRA contributions. We made our first one in October. We'll make another one here made our first one in September. Our October payroll will be our next one. And we'll continue that through November and possibly into December, at which time we'll start those contributions. We, through negotiations last year, had agreed to pay those staff members that were frozen on the pay scale of $600 stipend. And so we're kind of preliminary numbers on that, about 58, but we'll go through it and make sure those match up at about $600. And that'll go on the November payroll for those staff members. And then the last thing I've got is flu shot clinic. We're running our second one this Wednesday here in the boardroom, open to all staff members and their families, as long as they are able to put it on insurance, and not necessarily just district insurance. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Next, we have a report on the Chief Financial Officer.
I thought it would be good for me to give you an update because we have 3 major projects going on in the district. So I wanted to kind of let you know where we're at with each of those. The first one is the LED lighting project, and that is financed by a lease purchase agreement. So the bank owns all the lighting until we can take the lease payments, and then we can buy it out again. We put a down payment of about $600,000 down to actually buy the lights. So we sent that money directly to the millage, and that's considered our down payment on the lease. And And then as bills come in from Millie with the lighting project, I submit them to Webster Bank, who pays Millie directly. But the bills come to me to look at, to approve, and then I send it on to Webster to pay. So they have made 2 payments on that, and currently we have $1,866,509 in the project. We have the ability to spend up to $4.1 million between the lease amount and what we put down. Our first lease payment is due February 1st of next year. It's $215,000, and we will, after that, we'll be making 2 a year, August 1st and February 1st. It's a 10-year lease, but after August of 28, we can prepay it if we choose without penalty. The next one is the HVAC, which is tied to the BEST grant. The ESSER 3 money that we are putting in for our share of the BEST grant is $2.250 million. The BEST grant is $4,883,786 for a total of $7,133,786. Now, we haven't actually put any dollars out yet, but we had a meeting with Millie last week where they're finalizing the numbers so they can start getting things ordered. We have to have our ESSER money spent down by September of 24. So we have most of next year to get that done. No one seems to feel like that's going to be a problem. So that's where we're headed. I've worked with the BEST grant people before, and it's a pretty smooth process. It's not hard at all. You just submit it and get paid. And then the last project, my personal favorite, is Legion Field. That project is paid for by the bond issue that happened a couple of years ago, I believe. The actual bond was $7,720,000. And since that time, we have accumulated interest on that money of a little over $300,000. So that gives us a total at this point of $8,032,090 and change. So phase 1 is what Millie was working on, is the soccer field. The estimated cost from the sheets they've given me is $2,698,000 and change. They have submitted 1 billing that we have paid, which is $640,999. I've gotten a second billing, but I'm waiting on some backup to tie the numbers out, and so that money hasn't left yet, but it is $637,000. So the total build out for Legion Field at this point is $1,278,000 and some change. They are hoping, from what I believe, to have the soccer field done early November, is what they're saying. So very excited to see things moving forward there. The public can drive by and say, oh, they are doing something. So and from the accounting perspective, it's nice that as we spend the money, we're still earning interest on it until it gets spent. So that gives us a little bit extra money to spend on the project. Any questions?
Not necessarily for you, but I really do hope that the press gets the pictures of the soccer field and the publication that we do. And because I do think that it moves us to make sure that the community, not everybody drives by there.
Right.
So they can show that it's in the press, the soccer field is where it's at.
The high school also asks for copies of the pictures so they can put them on their displays for the kids to see.
Perfect.
So literally, if we don't pay our bills, the lights will
They will go out.
Got it.
True.
Good to know.
Okay, next we have a discussion item. We have a special board meeting for board reorganization. You have up there the explanation. I don't know if that is Rob.
That's what we're doing, well,
So, election day is the 7th, November 7th. They have 10 days after the last day of election to get any ballots from overseas from anybody in the military. They do not total those up until the last day. So the soonest that we can know for sure what our totals are is November 17th. If there's any type of discrepancies, it could go longer till the last day could be November 29th. It's doubtful it will go that long. So that's why I've got on here that we have 2 alternate dates. Hopefully we can do it on Monday, November 27th. But if by any chance by Friday I haven't got that certification, we'll have to bump it till November 30th.
What time are we looking at? And I'm assuming it'll be an evening or.
We can do it every time, but yeah, on a Monday or either.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do it Monday morning, but I cannot do it.
Okay. So it's really up to you. The reorganization meeting should probably take about a half hour, I'm guessing.
So, are you good with this? Is
I'm
it
good with this, I
be Gone,
Would you prefer evening or?
Evening would be better for me, mornings are not great for me.
Either one of those days.
Okay.
So, hopefully you're.
Yeah. 7 o'clock. So in the action item, it just says that we approve the meeting on November 27th, unless the election is not certified, then we'll delay the meeting until November 30th. And 7 o'clock is good with everyone.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, next up, we have the consent agenda. We have the personnel action report. What is the pleasure of the board?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown? Aye. Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Action item A. We have a list tonight. Special. Okay, special board meeting for board reorganization. What is the pleasure of the board?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion other than what we just talked about?
So what we're approving is either the meeting on the 27th.
Unless we have to go to the third.
Right.
Okay. No. Okay, roll call please.
Chris Brown? Aye. Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Action item B is the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, which is November 1st through 4th, 2023. We have a list of student participating, their schedule, student workshops, teacher workshops. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown? Aye. Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Action item C, approve board member Mrs. Chris Brown to abstain from voting on the action item D. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? We all understand why. Roll call, please.
Chris Brown? Aye. Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Action item D, approve the 23-24 stipend for Mr. Michael Barkley. What is the pleasure of the
Move
board?
to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Abstain.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Action item E, approve board member Mr. Rob Carew to abstain from voting on the next action item.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Action item F, approve the 2023-2024 stipends for Mrs. Judy Ruth and Mr. David Marquez. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
With a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown? Aye. Rob Cruz?
Abstain.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Action item G, approve board member Mrs. Katie Jess to abstain from voting on action item H. Pleasure of the board.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown? Aye. Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? Aye. John Connie?
Aye.
Melissa Smith?
Aye. Did you want to abstain? Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, okay, sorry. I have it highlighted, so I see it myself.
I'm on it.
Did I say aye?
Yes.
Okay. Action item H, approve the 2023-2024 stipend for Mrs. Katie Jett.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff?
Abstain.
John Connie?
Aye.
Elizabeth Smith?
Aye. Sure. Action item I, approve board member Mr. John Crowdy to abstain from voting on action item J. Pleasure, board.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff?
Aye.
John Connie?
Aye.
Elizabeth Smith?
Aye. Action item J, approve the 23-24 stipend for Mrs. Amy Crowdy. Pleasure, board.
Move to approve.
With motion and second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? John Connie?
Abstain.
Elizabeth Smith?
Aye. Action item K, the 2023-2024 stipend list in front of you. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Is there anybody left? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Rob Cruz?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jeff? John Connie?
Aye.
Elizabeth Smith?
Aye. Next up, we have in front of us the newsletter from Pioneer. Advanced Planning. Performances of Fort Morgan High School's Play Alice in Wonderland will be November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, just extending the holdup. Next Board of Education meeting is November 6th, 2023. Coordinated election is November 7th, 2023. And there is no school the week of November 20th through 24th, 2023. And so if there's nothing more to come